Hey everybody, it's another episode of Real Talks where we ask real questions about real estate. I got my associate over here, Mark, who's gonna fire away some questions at us today. What do you got for us?
We all know that the market is super competitive right now.
Yeah.
Something that I've been hearing a lot is that buyers are asking, should they go directly to the listing agent? Does this increase my chances of getting the property? I just want to know what your thoughts are about that. Is it something that you would advise your clients if they're, they really want a property to get into?
Amazing questions, because I probably get asked that multiple times each week. I know there's a lot of frustration with a lot of buyers out there looking to purchase properties. There's not a lot of properties out to choose from. So every house that they go and take a look at and they like and they want to submit an offer, you're competing against like 15, 20. I think the other day we heard one of the agents say that they were competing against like 40 offers.
Exactly.
Which is like crazy. So I do tell people, take it with a grain of salt. Right now, if you're out there buying a piece of property, it's almost like winning the lottery if you do get the accepted offer. And a lot of people do get really frustrated. And I always say buying real estate is one of the most unique purchasing things that we'll ever do. Because like majority of the time we ever want to go buy like this iPad right here, I just go into the Apple store, show my credit card, they bill me, I walk out with the product. Buying a house isn't that way, especially in today's marketplace when there's so many other people that you're competing against. So going to the listing agent is a strategy. Is it going to be the best strategy? I always personally advise against it unless you know the ins and outs of purchasing real estate. I've always said, and you probably can hear me talk about this through some of the other episodes, is I always talk about, there's so many people that have real estate license. There's good real estate agents, and of course, in any industry, there's gonna be bad real estate agents as well too. I've always been a big believer that the entry level into this industry is fairly low. You have a lot of part-time people helping people buy the biggest assets of their life. So I think this is a really important thing, especially when you're buying a house for the first time. If you're a seasoned investor or you know the ins and outs, then yeah, go ahead, because that will probably increase your chance. But I always tell people you're literally playing Russian roulette if you decide to go with the other real estate agents, because we have no idea who that other person is going to be. Are they a good agent? I would hope so. But are there bad agents or are there shady agents out there? Definitely. We come across them all the time. We can't expose who those people are, but certain names within the industry from the agent standpoint, you fire off a name and people start to cringe already. So if you get, matched with an agent like that, are you gonna get fair representation? Are they gonna tell you about all the rights you have in terms of like inspecting a house, disclosures? Are they gonna give you all the pertinent facts that you need? I don't know. That's where I say it's like playing Russian roulette. If that is a strategy that you wanna go with, it will. I tell people honestly, you are going to completely increase your odds, but I'd rather do things the right way rather than go through the entire process, make this big purchase that's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars and even millions of dollars in some cases, and relying on somebody that you have no idea if they're going to be even helping you with the process or not.
So when you say that you run the risk of not having fair representation, what does that exactly entail? What does that exactly mean? If I was a buyer and I came to your listing, what are some of the things that I should be wary of when it comes to? Is it like you're talking about the negotiations, about the purchase price, or is this like to do with the repairs?
Yeah, there's like a whole slew of things that happens within a purchase. I think most people think that whenever you buy a property, it's like, okay, this is how much I want to pay for it. I'm gonna get a loan, and boom, 30 days later I get a house. But in between that time frame, there's like so many things that come into play. Number one, is this house even right for you? Of course, You know, it's a very emotional decision. People are just jumping into buying properties just because, like I said, everybody else is doing it. Is that the right reason? No, I think you should have somebody to consult you. Plus, there's things just that we know over the years by just being in the business, location-wise, what certain communities look like. Is it a bad location? Is it a good location? Things to be wary of. There's a lot of things that we wouldn't normally see just by looking at a house, or wouldn't even know by just looking at a house. It takes experience, it takes knowledge. There's a lot of other things that come into play with that.
So kind of like the advice that the real estate agent would give you, you're not going to get that if you go directly to the listing agent.
Definitely. And technology has alleviated a lot of concerns for, I would say, potential buyers or consumers out there.
Because they could look up the information.
They can look up a lot of information, but there's still a lot of secrets behind the scenes that agents just know about. And that literally comes with either just being in the profession or just by just knowing specific local marketplaces. Like for me, I wouldn't go outside the territory that I'm not comfortable with. Yeah, we're licensed in the state of California to do real estate anywhere up and down the boundaries of the state. But going outside of our pocket or our area, I wouldn't want to do it because there's different jurisdictions, there's different rules, there's different things that you might not know about, only the locals would know about. So that's why I think it's always important having somebody in your corner to help you with that entire process. I always, and you hear me talk about this too, I always say it's like having an attorney, right? When you get into a lawsuit, you want somebody to represent you. You wouldn't want the same person that's representing you also representing the other side. There's fiduciary duty. So I hold that of the utmost highest expectations of consumers to us. And I think that is the best way for consumers to really have a fair shot at this. A lot of people think maybe agents are out of date or they're not relevant in the transaction anymore, but I've seen so many horror cases where things could have not turned the way they turned if there was proper representation. Hopefully that helps you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And don't forget to smash that like button.